So I deserve to go to Disneyland with a beautiful girl, right? I deserve to go to New York and explore Times Square with a beautiful girl. I'm basically Pac-Man. Right, like I deserve that. I am extremely depressed, so there's some mental health issues that we bring to the table. I'm worthless. It's not possible. And I want that, and I've never had it. Yeah, this is the hard part, back to reality.
Boogie2988, or Steven Williams, is a controversial online figure who gained popularity by posting viral comedy and vlog videos on YouTube. Currently, he's struggling on YouTube because of the discussion surrounding his constant manipulation of his audience, never-ending self-victimization, and the inability to ignore haters and negative comments. Some of you knew who he was, some of you didn't, and some of you found out recently because of the growing popularity around the topic of discussing him. This explosion in conversation around this YouTuber started with one documentary released here on YouTube, The Dark Sad Life of Boogie2988 by Mike Clum. For around 9 months, Mike Clum had access to Boogie's daily schedule, personal contacts, and financial statements while he documented the life of this man. After you watch this video, I highly recommend going to the description down below and watching the whole documentary on Mike Clum's channel because it's a really well made video. Now today, I'm not here to make fun of Boogie personally. I'm here to analyze the documentary made about him, which he consented to and advertised on his channel, clearly understanding that the documentary aimed to show the whole of his life and is not a surprise exposed video aimed to ruin his career. I will analyze scenes and parts of this documentary as a way to warn other men and to educate how low a man can fall if he's not willing to work to better himself. All of us are capable of falling into the kind of darkness Boogie now lives in, and it's important to not just see the darkness, but also to figure out how it snuffed the light. Just a quick message before we get into this video: if you end up enjoying it, please leave a like on this video and comment your thoughts and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you support my ideas about masculinity in today's world, please support the channel by either entering our exclusive Discord server on Patreon or donating to my PayPal. Everything is going to be in the description down below. Thank you.
This is the game I most identify with because it's about a little round guy running through a maze trying to figure shit out, eating everything in sight, and getting chased by ghosts of his past. So I'm basically Pac-Man.
I believe the foundation of a man's life comes down to what that man's meaning of life is and what his ideal or ideals are. The meaning of one's life can be described as something that keeps you going and something that you base your values around, whilst an ideal is something you look up to that guides you to maintain a good meaning in your life. When you have a weak or no meaning in your life and nobody or nothing to guide you, everything crumbles. In Boogie's case, we see that again and again his meaning of life is moments of comfort, moments of escaping the pain. He can't imagine changing and he can't imagine disciplining himself long term, so he resorts to a lower functioning in life. Here, he compared himself to a non-real video game character, which is not even human, performing basic things like running around and eating in a never-ending cycle, not being able to get out of the constraints of the screen of its existence. Life usually begins when you begin to search for it, search for something more. It starts by following a mentor, a role model. When you have somebody or something that guides you, you can then adopt a philosophy for life and then shape the philosophy to work for the specifics of your life.
That's just my life philosophy at this point. Just face down in the mud. That's pretty much how we live our lives.
In a way, Boogie has an ideal, has a role model. However, this ideal is just what guides him to receive glimpses of escapism comfort and not actual growth. If you have a role model of a rich person and you value finances, you will most likely be a person who focuses on taking care of his finances. If you have a role model of a person who endures pain and goes beyond the limits, you will most likely be a person who also tries to endure. If you have a role model of a person or a thing that is weak, you will most likely be a person who is also weak.
I will never function the way you function. It's not possible.
When both meaning and good ideal or ideals of life are missing, the foundation to actually live will be gone too. This results in giving up on living or having something better than mere existence. At that point, the only thing you can hold on to is the negativity, the list of all the things that is wrong with you, because if you list all the reasons why you can't do something, you don't need to try. Of course, some medical conditions cannot be cured, only treated, but almost everything Boogie lists can be dealt with, like obesity, which then would impact at least the depression, anxiety, anxiety, back pain, and low testosterone positively. Boogie has attempted to lose weight in the past, however unsuccessfully, until he had a gastric bypass surgery, which is a type of weight loss surgery that involves creating a small pouch from the stomach and connecting the newly created pouch directly to the small intestine. This helped Boogie lose some weight, but as we can see now, he's not in good shape and still consumes junk food regularly, because this is what happens when you try to buy weight loss and not to actually do it. Nobody expects everybody to look like models, but just losing weight and or building muscle to the point that you can look like a healthy human is necessary for the best physical and mental health. A lot of us nowadays live sedentary lives, either sitting and working in the office, going to school or university, working from home, and our leisure activities are also mostly spent sitting around. We sit a lot, and if you don't also work out or eat healthy, this lifestyle can drastically impact your mental health. Humans are created to be moving around, and when we're not, we begin to get depressed, anxious, stressed, and gain weight if we're eating unhealthy, and that impacts our mobility and so on. I believe most of mental health problems can be fixed by simply consistently exercising and eating at least somewhat healthily. We can see how much an extremely sedentary life can affect a human by looking at Boogie or other obese people. In Boogie's case, he seems to have given up on trying to lose weight and in turn has given up trying to better his mental health.
It's a waiting game now, and it's just about making the best of it.
So the most important reason why Boogie degrades is that he doesn't attempt to look for meaning. He doesn't attempt to find good role models, because all he does when he's hit by the tragedy of his life, he escapes. When you have little to no meaning and you can't find or don't try to find a way out, you become depressed, bitter, anxious, and in general, broken. This state cannot be tolerated for long, as that can lead to suicide, but there is a reason why some broken people still continue to go on. Escapism. Comfort and moments of absence of pain become the new meaning of life. Boogie and a lot of other men nowadays use things like video games, food, entertainment, sex, and so on to numb themselves so that they don't have to try to improve themselves.
I've told the audience, I've told you guys, I've told everybody, this is the center of my world, right here in this recliner with my dogs, watching television, playing video games on that television.
Now, there's nothing wrong with engaging in pleasure every now and then, because at the end of the day, a human needs some comfort. However, it's important not to let it go too far and try to balance it, because a human is also the only creature that thinks and plans, the only creature that struggles mentally, and so needs to act in a way to improve himself. Boogie describes his escapism lifestyle as the center of his world, and we can see how worshipping comfort has impacted him both physically and mentally. Every form of comfort provides different satisfaction to different areas of life. Video games, for example, allow you to escape the need as a man to provide something to build skills, as video games amplify this process of skill building and doing meaningful tasks in an easier and more engaging way. Junk food gives the brain and the body high stimulation and trains them to not desire something healthy, but something that feels good. General entertainment allows the mind to escape from thinking difficult thoughts, which might feel uncomfortable and require some action to get rid of. Random sex or masturbation to gives the illusion to the man that he is the man, which results in lesser motivation to seek an actual meaningful relationship, build a family, and discipline himself sexually. Buying stuff tricks the caveman brain into thinking that it's acquiring resources, but in fact, a man is just impulsively buying things that he doesn't need and ends up being in financial trouble. Some of these comforts can be had in balance, and it's okay, but some of these can corrupt a man greatly, and then more effort is required to go back to the same state he was before. I believe promiscuous behavior and to pornography are some of the most dangerous things you can engage in as a man, because it's the biological drive to want these things, but not natural to engage in it, as it corrupts your character long term. One other comfort that I didn't mention is drugs. Nowadays, a lot of people, like Boogie doing weight loss surgery, are searching for ways to cheat their minds into functioning better. At the end of the documentary, we see Boogie trying out mushrooms.
So there's something I've always wanted to try. There's a lot of research that came out of Europe, and now we're doing it here in the United States, where psychedelics can help reset certain brains.
I believe this is yet another form of escapism. Instead of trying to improve their lives by putting in the work, some people search for a shortcut in alcohol, cigarettes, weed, mushrooms, or other drugs. Now, I admit that I have not researched the effects of mushrooms, let's say, and the whole process of resetting the brain and I agree that perhaps it can help some people with actual mental illness, but I believe that for the average person, it's yet one more vehicle to escape from the struggles of their life. I mean, Boogie claimed that it was life-changing, but as we can see, nothing significant actually changed in his life.
Hey, my name is Boogie2988, and this is my $250,000 home.
In the documentary, it is touched upon that Boogie might be a covert narcissist. According to clevelandclinic.org, covert narcissism, also known as vulnerable narcissism, is a more introverted side of the narcissistic personality disorder. A covert narcissist experiences the same insecurities as an overt narcissist, but internalizes their self-importance, often while hyper-focusing on their need for attention. We see that in Boogie's case, this narcissism comes out in wanting to be viewed as a victim, as feeling bad for him, he believes, is far better than viewing him in a negative light. That's why in the whole of this documentary, we see the pattern of self-loathing and self-pity.
I really want you to understand how actually sick I am. Like, I don't know if you actually get it.
Although the strategy of wanting people to feel bad for you might work in the short term, if your circumstances can be changed and you are unwilling to change, people will lose the feeling of empathy and it can turn to contempt. As an example, you might feel bad for a person who lost a leg and now is struggling because of it. It's not in their control to grow the leg back. For Boogie, his biggest struggle pretty much is about his weight, which is in fact in his control. I think this comment on the documentary video sums it up best. Never thought I could feel bad for someone yet have no empathy toward them at the same time. Let's talk about narcissism itself a little bit. Narcissism is a mental condition of holding yourself of more importance than normal. Of course, you should love yourself and hold yourself to be important, not in comparison to others, but in comparison to your past self. However, that only comes when you work toward it. Loving yourself is not about eating the most tasty food and allowing yourself to be comfortable all the time. Loving yourself is about balancing discomfort with discipline and taking care of your future well-being. As a man, you have a duty to take care of yourself properly, and once you know how to take care of yourself, take care of others and your environment. Narcissism is extremely dangerous, and its effects can clearly be seen in Boogie, which should stand as a warning to others too. The Dark, Sad Life of Boogie2988, official documentary by Mike Clum, stands as a documentation of how low a man can fall when he's unable to exercise his free will and choose to improve. In this analysis, I touched on the three major parts of Boogie and the blueprint of how to ruin your life as a man: have a lack of meaning and guidance, escape the pain of life into pleasure, and become a narcissist. Hopefully this video helped you better understand the painful road you can take in life if you don't choose to improve. I hope for Boogie, myself, and all of you to be able to take the suffering and moments of pain in your life and use it to become stronger both physically and mentally. If you want to watch a video about how you can start improving in life, I suggest watching this next. Thank you for watching.